They say the most difficult step in painting is to actually start it, and the most intimidating scene for an artist is a plain white canvas. So let's get real this time and just start painting. Once and for all, set aside all those worries about composition and thought-provoking ideas, impressionism and expressionism, and let's just paint realism.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to
The most difficult part in this painting is actually over, and if you two were able to get past it, then the rest of the steps are purely technical, and you just need to follow along to create a realistic masterpiece. The next step in the painting would be color blocking, which by definition would be blocking in the parts of the painting with appropriate colors, and in my opinion should be corrected as appropriate values. Values are much more important than colors in realism. Values represent the amount of light hitting a surface, or in layman terms can be explained as the strength of the shadow. The concept of values was well understood in classical realism, as they used to make well sophisticated underpaintings before starting to add colors. To get the concepts clear, let's just compare these three portraits of persons from similar ethnicity. You can see that the colors used are different, while values did the trick. To explain it much more scientifically, let's just go back to the evolution of eyes and vision. All living beings with color vision, including humans, have rod cells for black and white vision and cone cells for color vision. These cells have their own journey of evolution in which the rod cells developed first and remained the only service provider for vision for millions of years. Cone cells developed as a much advanced evolutionary feature. Result, our brains are much more sensitive to light and shade than to color. In short, our vision has a solid foundation of light and dark values and a filter of color in front of it. Understanding this concept and actually applying it is the key in attaining realism. When you are giving this much importance to the values, that doesn't mean that you can completely disregard the colors. The colors mixed should be as close to reality as possible, and this holds true even for background. As you see, once you color block the whole area, start filling in the details. There is nothing much to explain here. You just have to mix the right colors and values, test before applying it, and when you apply with broad confident brush strokes. Curves are treated as curves and edges as edges. Here I want to discuss a very important and often overlooked concept, especially by the beginners. Face is a three-dimensional structure, and you are making a realistic copy of it on a two-dimensional plane. Hence the facial outline and the eyelids are drawn as the same sharp lines, especially when you start your drawing career. But in reality, the eyelids have sharp edges, while the side of face is a curve and not really an edge. The sharp edges for facial or hair outline work with more abstract type of paintings or expressionism. But when realism is in question, edges should be drawn as sharp line and curves as soft or blurred lines. Thus, well-defined sharp-lined organs like eyes or skin folds are painted with sharp line, and facial outline or other curves are painted with soft blurred lines. As you all know, I am a self-taught amateur artist and still in the process of finding out my path in the art world. I learned art mainly from YouTube and a few kind-hearted online teachers who showered their knowledge and wisdom upon me vastly in disproportion to what I paid them for. YouTube's progression now sadly is more towards entertainment content, with only those videos with high click-through rate and retention getting propagated. If you have reached up to this watching this video and think this is something useful for the art community, don't hesitate to hit that like button so that the video gets propagated more. Thank you. The idea of focal points is there from the classical era, but the real emphasis on focal points started with realism. Areas which the artist perceives as important are considered as focal points and strategically placed in a painting and done in a detailed approach so that the viewer's eyes are drawn towards those focal points. Focusing on details is an evolutionary tool that helped humans survive in the wild, as it helps them to see the tiger hiding in the corner of a bush rather than seeing the group of bushes. Photorealism completely undermined this property of human brain and is the reason why it is unnatural and far from realism. Here you can see that the eyes and nose are given greater emphasis than the other parts of the portrait. The dress is painted just vaguely with no sharp outlines. When it comes to really nailing a realism portrait, the background also is important. It should be painted with realistic colors and, as I said, should be out of focus unless there is any focal point which the artist wants viewers to see. With that being said, let's just sign it and have a look at the finished piece. Many beginners have the misconception that realism means more details, but if you compare these two paintings, the other one being done in semi-abstract expressionism, you can see that the difference is not in the details. The difference is what I have explained in this video. Hope you all learned something useful. If you wish to buy any of my paintings or prints, please visit jinjuart.com. And if you enjoyed watching this, here is a video that I think you should watch next. That's all from the video, guys. See you all in the next. Till then, take care and bye bye.